Good afternoon. David Carroll back live in our Channel 3 studio. It's 4:01 this afternoon, and we are glad to report that Elizabeth Thomas has been found safe in Northern California, a couple of hours south of the Oregon state line. The former teacher, Tad Cummins, has been arrested and taken into custody, but once again, Elizabeth Thomas is safe. The TBI is holding a press conference in Nashville. Let's go to that right now.
Very same information from the very same individual. We obviously wanted to jump on this information quickly and requested assistance from that law enforcement agency. They quickly began their efforts to immediately address the situation, but there were challenges they had to overcome. The area where the pair was reported to be is a very remote, isolated area with no or limited cell phone service. In spite of it all, deputies found the Nissan Rogue that's been at the center of this nearly 6-week search early this morning, and were able to confirm through the VIN number on the vehicle that this was, in fact, the vehicle that's been the subject of this ongoing Amber Alert. Authorities in Siskiyou County kept this car under surveillance for several hours, and as daylight broke this morning, they were able to take Tad Cummins into custody and safely recover Elizabeth without incident. With more, here's Director Mark Wynn.
Thank you, Josh, and good afternoon. As you've seen from the pictures we've shared with you over the past 6 weeks, Elizabeth Thomas is a beautiful 15-year-old girl. She's loved by her friends, her family, and the community of Columbia. This afternoon, we couldn't be happier to tell you she will soon be on her way back home to Tennessee. This morning, authorities in Siskiyou County followed up on a tip called into TBI headquarters late last night and found Elizabeth and arrested Tad Cummins. She will soon be on her way back home. Tad is in custody of law enforcement, facing a set of charges that could keep him from behind bars for many years. To the public, I can't say how thankful we are for all your tips, your concern, and your support, having made the difference in this 6-week search. As we have said from the start, it only takes one tip, and this is yet another example of the value of the public helping us to rescue a kidnapping victim. Because of the remote nature of the area where the pair were found, agents from the TBI, FBI, along with investigators from the Maury County Sheriff's Office, are currently flying on TBI aircraft to get there as quickly as possible to meet with local authorities and make the final arrangements to bring Elizabeth home. She will be flying back home on TBI aircraft. We are thankful to all our partner agencies in this search, including the FBI, Maury County Sheriff's Department, and the District Attorney General for the 22nd Judicial District, Brentwood.
Thank you, Director. I just want to say that as a prosecutor, one of the greatest parts of my job is to assist law enforcement in doing their job. And now for well over a month, I've had the pleasure and the honor of helping our local, state, and federal investigators as they tried to find Elizabeth Thomas. And it's been a long time coming, but today their hard work paid off. And again, it's been an honor and a pleasure to help them as much as I could. But also, as a prosecutor, it's difficult to stand on the sidelines and watch the officers do their work, because prosecutors can't go to work until the officers and the investigators have found that person and thankfully, in this case, returned everyone safely. So now it's time for the prosecution to get to work. Law enforcement still has work to do, and I know they will continue to work to build our cases for prosecution. And but it's now, I'm grateful to say that now I can get busy as a prosecutor doing my job and hopefully bringing justice in this case. The state, as you all know, has an aggravated kidnapping charge and a misdemeanor sexual contact with a minor charge. I've been in collaboration with the U.S. Attorney's Office about the possibility of federal charges being brought and how best to address that situation along with the state charges. I met recently with the interim U.S. attorney here, and they have been more than cooperative. And I believe at this time I'll turn it over to him and let him share a little bit about the potential charges. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jack Smith. I'm the acting United States Attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee. I wanted to start by just complimenting our law enforcement partners here on the amazing job they did in this case. It was only yesterday that General Cooper and myself got together with FBI and TBI to go over the state of the investigation, and I left that meeting thinking there was literally nothing that these folks could do that hadn't already been being done. And I'm just so happy to see that this case has come to a good resolution. I can also tell you today that earlier today, my office filed federal charges against the defendant in this case. He is charged with transportation of a minor across state lines for the purpose of having criminal sexual intercourse. He will face a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years on those charges and possibly quite longer. And as General Cooper said, he and I will work together on this investigation to make sure that justice is done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Chief Deputy Ray Jeter, Murray County Sheriff's Department. It's a good day, and I'd like to lead with that, but I'm going to be very brief. First of all, I would just like to thank everyone for their help in this peaceful resolution to this case. The Sheriff Bucky Rowland and the Murray County Sheriff's Department partnered with TBI, with the FBI, very early in this case, and it has been a group effort ever since. To that end, Sheriff Rowland and I would like to thank the TBI. We would like to thank the FBI. We'd also like to thank all the local agencies across this country for their help. We fielded nearly 1,500 tips in this process, and in that process we partnered with every agency along the way, and we thank you for that. We'd also would like to thank our own people. Our own people put in the dedication and the countless hours they put in to see this resolution, and we thank you at the Sheriff's Department. We also would like to thank the media. We'd like to thank you for putting this and putting our message out and kept this going. We appreciate that. We also would like to thank the public. Ultimately, it took a tip from the public to see this resolution, and to the public I say I thank you for your help. We will continue to work with TBI, we'll continue to work with the FBI, and we'll continue to work with these agencies as we continue our investigation. Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Matt Espinshade with the Federal Bureau of Investigation here in Nashville. Again, I'd just like to echo those thanks to countless numbers of officers across the country who helped us to run down over nearly 1,500 leads, to the officers here from the agencies that are standing in front of you who put in countless hours. And they ask nothing of that, just that the justice is done. And in this case, I feel we're on the tip of that. We are now out of the search stage. We are going to pursue justice in this case, and along that time I hope that we can heal as a community, as the victims, and I'd just like to thank everyone in this room because you kept this at the forefront of the news. Great job by TBI for leading up this cause, Murray County Sheriff's Office. We're glad to play a part of it as the FBI, and now we're on to the prosecution stage. So thank you very much to everyone.
Just want to also let you know that representing TBI is our Deputy Director, Jason Locke. At this point, we will open it up for any questions. As I've indicated, this is still an active and ongoing investigation and a fluid situation in terms of the recovery of Elizabeth Thomas and the arrest of Tad Cummins, so we might be limited in terms of what we can offer, but we'll certainly try to do our very best.
Just a question for General Cooper. You've been very close to this all the way through. Can you say anything about Elizabeth Thomas's condition?
At this time, all we know is that she's apparently healthy and unharmed. It will be, of course, our knowing that, our main concern is how is she emotionally and mentally. And we're going to see to it that not only do we look at her as a potential witness and a victim in this case, but also as someone that if she needs help, whatever help we can offer, we will make sure that's provided for
What
her.
is the help that what might be provided after something like this?
Well, there are agencies right in our district that their sole purpose is to treat child victims of abuse, whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, or sexual abuse, and they can refer that child to the appropriate entities, whether it be counselors or therapists and things like that, to get the help they need so that they can move on past this stage in their life.
And immediately now?
And immediately, as soon as we can, as soon as we get her back, and of course we don't want to disrupt her life any more than we have to, and we want her to reacquaint herself with her family and her friends, and lead as normal a life as possible. But as soon as she's ready for any help we can offer, it'll be there for her.
When do you think that she will land here in Nashville, and where might you come in, BNA, or is it going to be a different runway?
I'll let the director answer that.
As I said, we've got agents en route on TBI aircraft right now. We're not going to disclose exactly where we will be bringing her back. I think she's been through enough, and as quickly as we can get her back here to a safe environment, she will be better. So we won't disclose where we'll be bringing her back, but we are en route right now to go get her.
What can you say about the commune? We'd heard initially that they were found at or near a commune. What can you say about that?
We really can't say anything right now. Like I said, agents are en route. We will be going to the location, obviously to collect any type of evidence that we need to collect, and to scour that crime scene. But they're not there yet. They're just en route. So, yes.
Is there any evidence that she was assisting Tad or assisting in this?
We don't want to get into the specifics of the investigation, but at the end of the day, she's 15 years old. She's 15 years old. She's a young girl that's with a grown man that's 50 years old. So he needs to be held accountable for kidnapping this girl.
So how did they survive?
We don't know yet. We'll try to find all of that out once we get out there.
Director, it sounds like the officers who were on the scene, they staked out that vehicle. Is that how they were caught? How he was caught? They came back to the vehicle and did the arrest?
No, that we're not going to go into the specifics of how they were caught, but that vehicle was under surveillance. We felt confident that they were there.
Director, can you say is a commune the place where they were found, this cabin was that?
All right, we're going to come back here to our studio now. You're hearing reporters ask some questions to TBI Director Mark Gwynn, and as he has said several times, he can't really be specific on answering some of the details, and frankly, they don't know all of the details yet. But we're going to monitor that press conference. We'll have a full report on our Live at 5 broadcast this afternoon. For those of you just getting home, turning on the television, the good news that we have all been awaiting, and that is that Elizabeth Thomas, the 15-year-old girl, has been found safe. Tad Cummins, the 50-year-old man who's her former teacher, is in custody facing kidnapping charges. He could be facing federal charges. And Elizabeth Thomas will soon be back on her way to Tennessee to reunite with her family. They were found in Northern California this morning as law enforcement authorities there were responding to a tip. And you've been hearing various law enforcement authorities in Middle Tennessee thanking the public, the media, all parties who have been on the lookout and trying to make sure that this young girl is okay. So she is healthy and on her way back to Tennessee. The investigation is continuing, and we'll have a full report on the recovery of Elizabeth Thomas and the arrest of Tad Cummins starting today live at 5 here on Channel 3. For now, I'm David Carroll, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.